Hi, welcome back to the channel. So if you're a writer and if you've been subscribing to any newsletters for writers, if you've been participating in NaNoWriMo, or if you're a part of the ecosystem, people who may have gotten advertised different writing software, then you may have come across this one called AutoCrit. They've been going through the different channels of seminars, webinars, some of the conferences. They've been trying to make a name for themselves lately. And they've had a deal going on for Black Friday, and actually even before that, where you can get their program for $300 at lifetime, or you continue to do their monthly if you want. But I originally I kind of passed on the idea because I already have ProWritingAid, and my understanding is that this does a lot of ProWritingAid does. But they had a pretty compelling deal going, or a pretty compelling offer, with this new feature they've got called the Story Analyzer right here. And I thought, you know what, I kind of want to take a look at this now, and I figured with Black Friday, if the price is going to go up, I better get on board soon. And I thought, well, let me go ahead and check it out, and I did. I picked it up, guess what, 3 nights ago now, and I just got through testing it, and I got to say, I'm really impressed with, in particular, the Story Analyzer, but also just the basics that you have with grammar, or the grammar checker and all that. And I thought, well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. If you are curious about the program, maybe you've seen the offers and you're not sure if it's worth whatever the lifetime ends up being or whatever the monthly is. But let's see what it actually has to offer so that you can make a wise decision, or an unwise decision if you're broke. So let's take a look. So when you have your main hub here, you're going to get this place where you can check out different blog articles. And of course, you have offers for some of their different writer groups and whatnot, which you can access over here in the community if you want, which I just clicked. And so I have the spinning wheel of death happening here. But you can see some of the different types of offers that are going on inside of the community. And then, of course, if you want to do some courses, you can go to the Academy and take a look at some of the things that they're offering for workshops. You get to, right off the bat, if you go into my courses, you'll see what you get for free. Pretty good stuff. And then, of course, there's other services if you move that, and we'll just take a look at what that's offered here. You get first chapter critique, perfect pitch appraisal, story doctor, and story inspection. But the important thing here is going to the writer's desk. If you go to the writer's desk, you will see this main hub here. And this is where you'll do a lot of the work for your manuscript testing and all that. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. You actually do have a getting started video over here that you can watch if you need to get into the fine details, should you decide to buy it. But before you do all that, let's just take a quick look from the perspective of, do you even want this program? So I probably won't go through every single feature it has, but I do want to show you just some of the basics that are really cool. You can look at the story ideas. This is like, ChatGPT powered, or some, I'm not sure if it's powered by ChatGPT or some other model, but if you need some ideas on how to build your story, you click on it, and then it's going to give you these different categories that you can fill in, starting with your basic prompt. So if you want to say, I want to write a story about a penguin chasing a cheese mouse through a cotton candy factory, then you can just start generating the whole thing, and it's gonna, although I probably didn't mean to do that. That was not what I meant to do, sorry. Let's try that again. I want, well, now you can see, don't press that button. I want to write a story about a penguin chasing a cheese mouse through a cotton candy factory. And then you can start building out the world down here. You can build out the fauna. And you can see what it's doing is filling in some key places or ideas that can help you sort of track what you want in your story. It's not what you'd expect from any generator for AI. If you start off from the basic premise of a story, But what this is doing is it's fine-tuned to know what you're looking for based off of these categories. So it's going to help you. It'll save you time by just giving you the general snippets without you having to ask the specific question. I hope that makes sense. But you can do it for the character, and you go all the way down to the beat sheet, and we want to look at the inciting incident, for example. If we click on that, I don't know if we need anything prior to that, but you can see where, oh, it's already labeling Percy. Does that mean it gave Percy name? Oh, yep, it did. Percy has been included. So it's context aware. It's a good way to figure out some starting points for your story if you need that kind of thing. I actually kind of like where this is going, so I'm going to save it. Call it Penguin and not Penguin. Penguin and the cotton candy place, I guess. Okay. All right, so that's what we'll call it. It's saved. I can export it and make it copy, or I can just close it. It should still be there, so I'll continue building later. Off camera, of course. And then, of course, you have your goals and stats if you need to track your progress. This is handy if you decide to write within the engine. You can see that I had added a day streak, but I technically didn't write. I just imported, which is what we're going to do now. Because in my opinion, this is the best part of AutoCrit, is if you go into the project files and you upload, and again, you can start from scratch through blank, or you can do copy paste from your document and do all that. And again, if you go to the blank document, you're going to have this rich text editor with all the features. It's pretty cool. But we're not going to do that. What I actually want, I guess I'll save that for the future. What I want to do is I want to upload. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, then you know that I'm a writer. You know that I'm also, I write fiction primarily. I do thrillers, coming of age stories. But I want to go ahead and show you my one novel that I've got on Amazon called The Computer Nerd, which is a domestic thriller. And we're going to actually have AutoCrit analyze it. And I'm not going to do every chapter or anything like that, because, again, I don't want this video to be boring for you, but I want to give you an understanding of what it can do from the analysis to the grammar and all that stuff. And just take note over here, too, you've got dictation icons. If you need to read it out loud, you have a text reader here. So it's pretty versatile, too, if you're having any particular disabilities, with typing or anything like that. It's pretty friendly. I haven't tested it yet, so I guess I could probably do that on the blank file just to be sure. Actually, let's do that real quick. While we're here, let's just do the quick dictate. All right, we'll do microphone. Hi, hold on, yes, allow. Hi, I just want to test out my dictation device to make sure this all works. Stop. Did that do anything? Yes, I'm not actually sure what that did. All right. It doesn't mean it's broken. It just means I don't know how to use it. I probably need to adjust the options. One thing to remember about AutoCrit is it's like any other software. You're going to get your best out of it if you actually watch the videos on how to use it. Rather than just doing things on the fly for your YouTube channel with them. Anyway, the trick here to really make this useful is to strip it down to just the chapters, which we're going to do here. And then I'm going to go down to the end of the text and my little icon way down here to strip out my metadata, because we don't need to analyze the metadata, I'm pretty sure. All right. Acknowledgements, which I'm going to probably have to update. Because I have new people to thank that I still have yet to thank. It's okay. That'll be for a future episode, I guess, maybe. All right. So we're stripping it down to just the chapters, and then what we can do in order to really get the most out of this is to go up here into the chapter section and then auto-find the chapters. And what it does is it automatically detects each chapter for its word count, and then we go to analyze, and then it'll open up the analysis features. And so what we can do in the meantime, if we want, is we can go into the summary, or you can go into, see, I think you're on summary. Yeah. If you click on the summary, you'll see these subheadings here. We can go right into the story analyzer to find out what is going on with our story. Now, you can do it by chapter or by story itself. We'll start with the story analysis in a perfect world, but we're not in a perfect world, so we're actually going to do this by chapter. You can do it individually by theme, where you can go right for the chapter top header, which I'm going to do. So if you click on the little icon here, it's going to generate a different ChatGPT style analysis of your chapter. The idea is you go through all 26 chapters, however long your book is, and then you can do a story analysis for the whole thing. So if you just click over there real quick, you'll see that it'll go for premise, conflict through lines, theme, and genre conformity, which I can probably show that to you on my short story shell out, since that one's actually finished now, so I previewed it here. But just real quick, you can see just for the first chapter, it gives you a basic synopsis with just the chapter, and you'll see that it goes through the conflict, the characters, and by the way, I'm not going to read it out loud to you. If you want to read what it actually does, I would encourage you to pause the video, read it on your own so you can see exactly what it says, because I don't want to waste your time having to read through everything. But I do want to show you the different categories. What's interesting is if you're worried about contradictions, it will look for them. It goes all the way down to the genre analysis. Now, right now, it's just chapter 1. It doesn't really know what it is just yet, which might be a knock on my storytelling ability, because it really is supposed to be a thriller, none of the above here. But it doesn't know that yet because we haven't quite hit that place yet where we get the conflict. But if we go into chapter 2's analysis, we may begin to see threads of the domestic thriller coming into play, possibly, or at least a thriller in some form. And that's what I like about this, is it doesn't necessarily pigeonhole a particular genre at throughout the whole story. It gives you these chapter by chapter genres, so that you can have a much clearer perspective of what your story is doing as a whole, so that if you are in fact more in line with, let's say, romance when you meant to write a mystery, you'll be able to see that in a much more granular effect. So I find that's really useful. So if I go down to chapter 2, see, now it's starting to go into the psychological thriller. And it figured that out. So if we go into the story analysis now and then generate the first premise, now this is going to be incomplete because obviously it needs to generate all 26 chapters for this to really work. But just based off the chapters that I've already analyzed, it's going to give me sort of a basic idea of what the premise and all that is. And where this is useful is if you're doing a work in progress, say for NaNoWriMo, or if you're, by the time you watch this, NaNoWriMo should be over. But if you want to analyze, your progress through NaNoWriMo to see if you stayed on track, this is a good way to just test the course of your work in progress to see if you need to make any course correction. Oh, I have a, okay, I guess I need to have more content. I don't know. I didn't do that for my last one, so I might just show you what I've already generated. Just show you that. We'll do one more chapter analysis, and then we're going to go back to my we'll go into like the summary reports for the grammar and all that, and then I'm going to go into the one I've already generated. It shows you the whole picture, because I think, again, it's, if you really want to be truly informed of whether or not this is worth your while, you probably want to see a finished version. So again, we have the conflicts. We've got, it's pretty accurate in who the characters are. I mean, it really does understand what your story is based off of what it reads by chapter. Now, of course, you still got to read carefully. It can potentially get a few things off. We're going to just go ahead and save this real quick. We'll come back to it. And by the way, if you want to run it again, it's all still there. So you can walk away if you need to update. And if you want to save your progress, you click the little yellow buttons here, either at the at this level, at the micro level or the macro. You can also go into the full story to export the whole thing, or explore the docs if you want to save it to a different document. But anyway, let's go back. I want to show you the summary report real quick, and then I'm going to show you the one I've already done for my short story Shell Out, so you can see a more accurate story analyzer here. Now, what you're going to look at too is it does give you a full word count of your manuscript from top to bottom. The reason why I stripped out the title page and the metadata and all that is you really wanted to get an accurate take on your entire story, not the stuff that's beyond the novel. So if you strip it out down into just the chapters, all your readings will be far more accurate. So I do recommend you do that. The other thing you have to remember is if you do an import, you got to import through docx. So make sure you have a fairly recent version of Word. If you go through Google Docs, you're probably not going to be able to do this. You may have to copy paste in that case. It can still be done if you're a Google Docs writer. I don't know why you would be, other than for collaborations with other people, but it does give you the option to copy and paste or write directly in, as I think I showed you earlier, but just in case you forgot, that's the case. So right now what you can do is you can make a comparison for different types of writers. So if you want to compare this to, let's say, another domestic thriller writer, let's say, who do I know? Jennifer Weiner, is she? No. You can get a picture of, Jodi Picoult, I think? No. Karen Slaughter, I think that would be good. Let's pick Karen Slaughter. I've never read her work. I have no idea how I compare to her. But we're going to see in real time whether or not, I stack up to what she does. Again, assuming that she's my genre. I don't know, but I think she is. What has she written here? Grant County. Oh, that doesn't sound like anything. Oh, no, Edgar nominated. That means she is. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that works. All right. We'll go with Karen Slaughter. All right. So anyway, you can get an overall score here with your graphs. And if you're familiar with Grammarly or ProWritingAid, this may look very familiar to you. And so if you just want a grammar checker or a word usage item, then you probably want to, maybe stick with what you have. But if you want the story analysis, definitely consider this. But you can see this is competent. This definitely keeps up with the all the same practice or all the same abilities that ProWritingAid and Grammarly have when it comes to checking your word usage, your grammar, all that stuff. But here's a breakdown of all the things it covers, which is, again, it's all pretty helpful to see all this if you need to know if your manuscript is publishable, honestly, or if you need to do a lot more editing. It also just gives you suggestions to run reports so you can see more granularly how things are going. And so let me just run through the end here so you can see all the different features that it has. Again, it has a word frequency. If your names are the highest frequency uses here, which mine are, then you're doing pretty well. But if you see very or any kind of adverb in the big bubble here, that's not a good thing. So this word bubble is really helpful to see how wisely you're using the words. And then you have your reading score if you care about that kind of thing. So I'm not really, honestly, analyzing this right now because I want to show you. I will, don't worry. I'm not going to just run it and ignore it. But if I go into the actual reports here, what it's going to do is it's going to go back to my manuscript, and then it's going to take us back to this section up here where you can break down each different component, and then it'll give you quick links to your text. So if you want to see the slow-paced ones, then you can click on the box here, and it'll highlight which one is bad. And then you just take a look, why is it slow? Do I care? And just make a judgment. You don't have to necessarily do their suggestions if you don't want to, but it's there if you care. So do I need to hit stop? Okay. I have no idea if I've been recording that whole time. But if you want to show all, just do that. And I'll click everything in the chapter for that particular topic. Otherwise, you can just go back to the show more and it'll check everything. And if you want to go through each section here, you can look at, let's say, what the strong writing sections are. It'll give you a new set of subheadings and things. So, like if I want to see what my unnecessary filler words are, click on that, and then I'll get a sense for all my varies and all my justs and my onlys and all the other crap that, which again, I'm a little over, but you can see that it gives you a breakdown of different word types and it gives you some tips on how to get rid of it. If I click on my justs, I can see where all my justs are. And so I can make it tighter. So that all said, the last thing I want to show you is the inspiration set here. So it's cool about this. I'm going to put this at the very beginning here. It measures inspiration by the paragraph that your cursor is on. If you click in over here, you can see what happens next, change the mood or story builder. We're not going to do story builder because that's basically what we already saw in the other example. But I do want to show you the what happens next feature. If you're writing and you get stuck and you don't know what else to do after a particular section, then you run the what happens next report to see different options you have. So if you click on, it should have generated something. It might be, I hope I don't have a limit. Let me click it again. I don't think anything happened. If nothing happens, just hit the generation button again and see what comes up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get sections for possible heightened tension, character motivation, unexpected twist, most likely, or outlandish. I like the outlandish ones. Those are funny. Suddenly, out of nowhere, appears a group of sentient marine creatures led by Captain Squidbeard. Yeah, that's crazy. So the one thing you have to remember is with inspiration, you're going to lose it as soon as you close it. So if you like what you see, just copy the note, and then it's going to go to your notes section, and then you can happily close it. And then it doesn't matter if you lost it. Same thing with change the mood. If you want to see one of these instead of the general direction you're going, if you want to see what happens if you go disgusted, which we're going to do, generate. I suppose we could also pick one of these if we wanted to. Oh, I see what it did. When I picked disgusted, it actually gave me a different set of possible adjectives. So it's not giving me option one. I don't know why. Well, it is in beta, so I'm sure it'll improve. But you can see where, I mean, you can read for yourself what it says. I don't necessarily have to read it to you, but it's giving all the adjectives that describe disgusted. So it's pretty good. I'm going to see it. And I'll review it later. All right, I'm not going to use it. The book is published. But it's always fun to see what it can come up with. So, all right, let's go back to Shell Out. That's the one that has already finished. I already got all the chapters generated. So if I go to continue writing, and again, it's going to count everything as a work in progress. So I don't think there's a way to say that you're finished. Not that you would need to do that. I am going to go back and change my comparative author since Shell Out is a coming of age, not a thriller. So we're going to go back to general fiction because unfortunately, this particular program does not have more fine-tuned categories like coming of age. It's primarily the genres like thriller, romance, horror, all that stuff. So if you are a genre writer, you're probably going to find something that fits your needs. If you're a nonfiction writer, there's a few options for you, like business writers like Seth Godin's in there, Jan Pink is in there. If you're more of a psychology-based writer, Malcolm Gladwell's in there. If you're a sports writer, John Krakauer's in there, or I guess an outdoor writer. There's a lot of different options that you have, but if you're a fiction writer for general fiction, you really need to go with just the general fiction category for now. Maybe it'll change someday. I don't know. It'd be nice if it does, but I'm not counting on it. But I do want to go back to the summary here. I do have the story analyzer is complete, and you'll see that this is an 8-chapter. It's a short story technically. You can see by the word count, it's not very long, but I've already filled it in completely. And so if I go to the story analysis, you're going to find that I have a complete filled in text. And so you can see that it, again, if you want to pause it, that's fine. You can see that it checks all the main overview, or the main things you'd want to know about the overview of your story. So the one thing I find hilarious is in the theme, the unanswered questions. It asked me the question about what becomes of Jeff's other offer regarding bringing over a cat for sociology class. Does this tie into any larger aspect of the story? The short answer is no, not at all. It was literally in the dialogue, part of the flavor. But I find it hilarious that it found that, and that it kind of dwelled on the thing. So again, it goes back to what I was saying before, that you need to pay attention to what the generations are, so that you have a full overview of what it's perceiving. And then, of course, you're going to, like everything else, make decisions on what is worth keeping and what's worth ignoring. The fact that it's asking about the cat detailing assignment, I think is funny, but obviously I'm not going to pay any attention to it, because it was not a Chekhov's gun situation. Even in the context of the story, I will show you what chapter is that. That's I think that was chapter 5, because again it breaks it down in here too. No, chapter 6. Yeah, so here it is. So in the synopsis in chapter 6. So if I close this and I go down to chapter 6, or in the book, technically part 6, here it is. It's like, it's going to be in your dialogue. It's just like, it's part of his assignment. I mean, the fact that, maybe I should have done something to that. I don't know. I didn't think it was important for the overall story. I think it was more for just kind of flavoring the scene to make sure we're grounded in reality. And that, again, but that's a decision I'd have to make. If I were to do this from scratch, if this is not already a published story, if I were writing this from scratch and that came up, I would think about it. I would say, okay, yeah, that's a good point. And then I thought, but I don't know. I don't really need to do anything with that. It's just, she's part of the scene. It's not really part of the conflict. It does give what was his name? I already forgot his name. I wrote this 20 years ago. What was his friend's name? Jeff. Sorry. Yeah, my memory's not very good about things I wrote 20 years ago. Jeff offers to bring him, his assignment. Like, that could be based on there could be a conflict in that if I really wanted that story to be about that. But the whole thing is about being content in the face of materialism, and finishing an assignment about a cat, not necessarily. So I just decided it's not something that I need to have. Anyway, let's I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to go to the combination report, because if you do want to see kind of a more overviewed perspective of things, you can select a more macro view of your options here. So that's just something to factor in if you care, or if you're just wondering what that is. I know a lot of times when I see YouTube videos, I get frustrated because the person showing off the software doesn't show me the thing I want to see. Like, they show me all the crap I don't care about. The thing I want to see, it's like, we'll get back to it. So I don't want to do that to you guys. What is cool, though, is you can go right to the chapter that you want to talk about. So if you want to jump to a chapter rather than scrolling the way I just did, because again, I just started using this tonight, so I'm still learning it myself. But yeah, you can jump to chapter, whatever, based off of that selection. But you do have to remember to auto select first if you're pulling in from a docx or a copy paste. So anyway, let's go back, and I want to show you a couple more things here, and then we'll be finished. If you need some additional help, there is a support center available, so it'll show you exactly how to do things. So you're not going to ever be stuck. And again, YouTube's got other videos too. You can always watch. I'm one more video. I'm glad you're watching mine. I hope you enjoy this, but but there are others if you find that there's something that you wanted to know more about that I didn't answer. But while we're looking at the features here, let's actually go into the plans and pricing because, oh, actually, if you're wondering, here are the genres that are available. But I think you can select all this. I don't think you need to actually own the software to be able to visit this page. I got here through, from within the software, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, support center. You can just go right to the support center and you have all these different selections. So if you need to know more about it, or if you just want to see how something works, you can click on any of the pages and find out more about it. Again, thank you for watching the video, but you probably don't need to if you have specific questions. But one thing you may want to know is the plans and pricing. So again, I bought it on the Black Friday deal, which is, I paid $300 for it. I don't know. You might have to get a lifetime offer through one of their promotions. So it might be worth it to you to sign up for their platform. So you have that option. I know their prices are going to be going up here any day now, if not already. But you can see generally you can have a free version. It's going to, what does it give you instead? I think, oh, I see. You can do your writing in here, but if you want the summary reports, all that stuff, you have to go into the Pro plan. So the only things you're getting for free are the writing platform stuff, which again, you can do in Google Docs if you really want a free rich text editor. But if you want all the stuff that's really good, then I think you have to pay for it. I'm trying to see if the story analyzer is on here. I think the story analyzer is a brand new feature, so that's probably why I'm not finding it here. But you saw it. I mean, we just used it. It is there and it works, and it's really good. So yeah, I think it's the new thing they just added, because I know the one of the creators of the program, they were talking about that in one of the webinars I watched earlier this year, that they had big things coming. And I think that was it. Yeah, here it is, AutoCrit story. Okay, yeah, it's part of the Pro plan. So just so you know, but again, if you can get a, if you sign up for the their newsletter, or if you sign up for the free plan and then start getting offers from them in the mail, you'll probably get the Black Friday deal next year, or you'll get some other solicitation, I imagine. I mean, I could be wrong again. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, I got the lifetime because I got offered through all my various things I subscribe to. So it does pay to, or I guess you're paying money. It's useful to have subscriptions to writer platforms, to or to join webinars, because you do get offers like this frequently that are really useful, especially during Black Friday deals and other, maybe Cyber Monday might have something, which is going to be tomorrow as of this recording. So I do recommend that if you're not signing up to any offers, to do so that you don't miss good offers if you can afford them. Again, it's not cheap. Even the on discount, it's not cheap. So you definitely got to make sure it's in your budget. But if you do have the budget for it, then I think it's pretty useful. I compared to ProWritingAid. ProWritingAid's got a lot more choices when it comes to analysis for the granular level. But ProWritingAid, the last I checked, and again, I haven't checked it in a little while now, but the last I checked, it was primarily designed for bloggers, nonfiction writers, academics, with novelists in mind, but not necessarily geared toward them. AutoCrit is written, or is designed more for the novelist or the book writer. So really, that's, I think, your best plan, whether or not you go with ProWritingAid or Grammarly, if you're into Grammarly, or this, is decide like what you want to use it for. If you're just going to write articles or papers for school, you don't really need this one. You can use the other two. They're going to be a little better when it comes to just how deep it goes. But if you want a good story analyzer, then I would say this is really good. The other one that's really good too, and that unfortunately does not have a lifetime, offer is Fictionary, which I have a video on that somewhere on my channel, going back about 3 years now. I don't think that platform's really aged yet, so like I haven't seen the evidence that it's been growing, but I imagine with AI improving that their analysis tools are probably also improving. So I would say Fictionary is another one to look at, but Fictionary is a little more challenging for me to recommend because I believe you are limited to how many books you can upload at a time, whereas something like this, it doesn't have, there's no limit. So I'm always a fan of platforms that have no limits. So, but anyway, that's everything that I wanted to show you guys about AutoCrit. It's pretty cool, I think. It's got a nice little flip book here if you're interested in that. If that's something that you're into, definitely give it a look at. If you don't care, then just, I mean, I suppose you stopped watching a long time ago, if that's the case. But if you don't care and you are still watching, thank you for the support. I'm glad you're interested in what I have to say. But for everyone else, I mean, I hope that this works out for you. If you decide to get it, make sure you let me know. If this helped you, this video helped you, if you made your story better because of this. And I would let AutoCrit know too, because again, programs get better when we give them feedback. And if there's something you'd like to see and they need to know about it, let them know. I know for me, I want them to have more genre options outside of the traditional ones. I would like to see a coming of age selection. I would like to see, maybe more, I don't know, cyberpunk. Just something that's not strictly a broad genre. That may take some work. Who knows? But that would be my wish list. But I think what they gave us here, it's pretty darn good. And I'm pretty impressed with it. I didn't think I would be, and here I am doing a video. So anyway, hope that all is helpful to you, and let me know if it was. So I'd be happy to hear from you. So that's it for today. Have a good day, good evening, good morning if you're watching this at a weird hour, and I'll see you for the next video soon. Take care. Bye.